Truth or dare gone wrong, my worst high school nightmare. I, 17F. Honestly wish I had just stayed home that night. My best friend Kayla, 17F, begged me to come to this small party at her cousin's house. It wasn't even that big, just around 12 of us sitting in a circle on the floor in the living room with snacks and soda. Nobody was super drunk or anything, but everyone wanted to make the night more fun, so someone suggested truth or dare. At first, it was harmless. Truths like, who was your first crush? Or, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done in school? And dares like, eat a spoonful of hot sauce, or do your best celebrity impression. Silly, lighthearted stuff. Then it started shifting. Someone dared Kayla to kiss her crush, and she actually did it. Everyone screamed and laughed. That was when the energy changed. It wasn't innocent anymore, it was charged. When it got to me, I picked dare because I didn't want to look boring. I should have just gone with the truth. Josh, 18M, one of the guys from our school's basketball team, smirked and said, I dare you to go into the closet with Ryan for 7 minutes. Ryan, 17M, is complicated. He's been in my classes for years. Cute, quiet, but the type of guy who makes you nervous just by looking at you too long. My heart was pounding, but I didn't want everyone to think I was scared. Kayla nudged me like, go, it's not a big deal. So I went. The closet was dark, and at first we just stood there, awkward. I laughed nervously and said, we don't actually have to do anything, right? He just shrugged. Then he leaned closer and whispered, unless you want to. I froze. Part of me was curious. Another part was screaming that this was wrong. Everyone was outside counting down, shouting and banging on the door, and it made me feel like I had to prove something. So I let him kiss me. The problem is, he didn't stop. And I didn't exactly push him away. But when his hands started moving lower, I panicked. I shoved him and said, no. He backed off immediately, but the moment the door opened and everyone saw us, the room erupted with teasing. And chanting. Kayla whispered in my ear later, you're glowing. Don't act like you didn't like it. But the truth is, I felt sick. Like something had been taken too far. Like I had lost control of my own choice. And that was just the beginning. The next morning at school, I could already tell something was different. You know that feeling when people are whispering and glancing your way, but you don't know exactly what they're saying? Yeah. That by the third period, I found out. Apparently, the story had spread faster than I thought possible. It wasn't just, we kissed in the closet. No, people were saying I hooked up with Ryan. Some even claimed I went all the way with him. I wanted to crawl into a hole and never come out. Ryan wasn't helping either. He wasn't bragging. Exactly, but he wasn't denying anything. When a group of guys asked him, what went down? He just smirked and shrugged, which might as well have been confirmation. Kayla, my supposed best friend, was no better. She thought it was funny. She kept saying, relax, it's just a joke. People will move on. But she also kept nudging me with these sly looks like she knew something I didn't. At lunch, I walked past a table of juniors and heard one of them whisper, closet girl. The entire table laughed. My face burned. The worst part, my crush, Ethan, was there too. He used to smile at me in the hallways. That day, he just looked away like he didn't even know me. By the end of the week, my reputation was completely twisted. I wasn't the shy girl who keeps to herself anymore. I was the girl who did stuff in the closet. What made it worse was Ryan trying to talk to me after school. He said, hey, I didn't tell anyone anything. They're just assuming. But then he added, almost proudly, I mean, I didn't say we didn't either. That was when I realized he liked the attention. He liked being the guy who got with me. I walked home that day with tears streaming down my face. I couldn't tell my parents because what would I even say? I played a stupid party game and now everyone thinks I'm easy? That one stupid dare had flipped my entire social life, upside down, and it was only going to get worse from there. The following week was hell. I kept my head down, but no matter what I did, the whispers followed me. Closet girl. 7 minutes in heaven. Someone even slid a crude drawing into my locker. I thought maybe Kayla would at least defend me. Instead, she made everything worse. At lunch, I overheard her telling a group of people, "Oh, come on, she wanted it. You didn't see her face when she came out of the closet. She was glowing." She laughed, and they laughed with her. My heart sank. That was my best friend. The one who begged me to go to that party. The one who pushed me toward Ryan. And now she was basically painting me as desperate. That night, I confronted her over text. I asked her why she was saying things about me. She just replied, "It's not that serious. People are gonna talk. No matter what, so you might as well laugh along." But it was serious. Because by the end of the week, the rumor had shifted again. This time, people were saying I had been messing around with Ryan before the party. Why too? That I'd been easy for months and just finally got caught. I couldn't figure out who started it until one of my classmates DM'd me. "You should probably know Ryan and Kayla were joking about you yesterday in the parking lot. They were saying you've had a crush on him forever and finally got what you wanted." My stomach dropped. It was Kayla, my best friend. She was feeding him attention and laughing along at my expense. I didn't want to believe it, but when I saw them, together at school, standing close, whispering, and then laughing as soon as they noticed me, it clicked. She wasn't just betraying me socially. She was trying to replace me. I didn't talk to her for days. The silence between us grew into this heavy, cold wall. But she didn't seem to care. In fact, she looked happier, more confident. She had Ryan's attention now, and she liked it. The final straw came when I was walking past the gym and heard someone shout, "Hey Ryan, how's your little closet girlfriend?" And then Ryan replied, loud enough for everyone to hear, "She's not my girlfriend. She was just practicing." The whole group laughed. My chest caved in. That night, I blocked Kayla on everything. But the damage was already done. And I knew if I didn't do something, this would be my reputation forever. By the time Friday rolled around, I couldn't take it anymore. I hadn't been eating properly, my grades were slipping, and every time I walked into a room, I felt like people were laughing at me behind my back. But the thing about being pushed down so far? Eventually, you stop being scared and start being angry. That morning, I walked into school with a plan. First, I went straight to Kayla. She was at her locker, giggling with Ryan, of course. My hands were shaking, but I forced myself to speak, loud enough for people nearby to hear. "You were supposed to be my best friend, Kayla. Instead, you lied about me, spread rumors, and let him humiliate me." Her face went pale, then red. She stammered, "I didn't—" I cut her off. "Everyone here should know that you're the one who dared me into that closet. You wanted a show. And when it blew up, you threw me under the bus because you liked the attention." People were staring now. Ryan tried to laugh it off, but I wasn't done. I turned to him and said, "And you? You think you're cool for letting everyone believe I slept with you? You're pathetic. You don't get to call me practice when the truth is, you begged me to kiss you, and I said no when you tried to go further. You should be thanking me for not telling everyone how desperate you really were." That shut him up fast. The hallway was dead silent. Kayla's mouth opened and closed like she wanted to argue, but people were already giving her the side eye. Ryan mumbled something about being late to class and stormed off. I didn't feel triumphant. Not exactly. My hands were still trembling. But for the first time in weeks, I felt like I had pulled the weight off my chest. Of course, the rumors didn't disappear overnight. High school doesn't work like that. But something shifted. People stopped laughing at me and started looking at Kayla differently. A couple of girls even came up to me later and said, "Honestly, I never believed them. Good for you for saying something." It wasn't a perfect ending. Ethan never looked at me the same again. Kayla and I were done forever. But I learned something important. Silence lets people write your story for you. Speaking up, even if your voice shakes, takes that power back. That night, I finally slept without crying. And I swore to myself I'd never play truth or dare again.